There we go. Hey, folks, we're going to start in a couple minutes.
We are ready to go.
Good afternoon, members of the MAG Regional Council Executive Committee. This meeting is now called to order. For those around the table, please turn on your microphones when speaking. For those participating via Zoom, please state your name when making a comment or asking a question. It really helps MAG staff understand who's making the comment. And if you're going to make the motion via Zoom, please state your name and the city that you're with. The MAG public comment process allows members of the public to comment on items under today's agenda or on items that fall under MAG's jurisdiction. If you'd like to comment at today's meeting, please fill out a white request to speak card located on the information table in the hallway and give it to MAG staff. You guys will let me know if anybody's going to speak on consent. That'd be great. If you parked in the job, we have found the parking validator that was missing. Please get that stamped. If you purchased a transit ticket to come to the meeting, please see staff for a ticket. Hearing assisted devices are available for MAG staff. We will now begin the meeting with a roll call of all members.
Thank you, Chair and members of the Executive Committee. I will go down the list of members. Please unmute and indicate if you are present. Mayor Gallego. Here. Mayor Giles. Here. Mayor Hartke.
Here.
Thank you. Mayor Hermosillo.
Here.
Our chair is present. Is there anyone whom I missed? Thank you. Chair, we have a quorum.
Awesome. Would you all please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? Do we have anybody from the audience who wants to speak at this moment? Do you have any cards or anything?
Mr. Chair, we do not have any cards or any comments.
Also, please remember that MAG provides the opportunity to speak before consent agenda. I'm assuming we don't have any cards for that either.
We do not.
Our next item is the approval of the consent agendas. Items 4A through 4G are on the consent agenda. Do any committee members wish to have an item removed for separate consideration? Hearing and seeing none. Is there a motion to approve consent agenda items 4A through 4G?
So moved. Motioned. Mayor Hermosillo.
I have a motion from Mayor Giles, a second from Mayor Hermosillo. Do you mind going ahead? We'll do a voice vote and then do our Zoom participants.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. Please in the room, please, if you're voting for the consent agenda, please vote aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And I will go down the list of members joining virtually. Mayor Hartke.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Hermosillo.
Yes.
Thank you. Is there anyone whom I missed? Thank you. Mr. Chair,
Thank
the
you
motion
all.
passes.
Passes unanimously. Thank you. Item number 8, due to time considerations and some members have a hard cap on their time, I'd like to move item 8 up to now. It's an update on legislation to enable the extension of Proposition 400. We will address the remaining agenda items after we completed our discussions on item 8. For this, we're going to move to executive session. Can I get a motion to adjourn to executive session?
So moved.
Mayor Gallego? Thank you. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Do you mind doing a roll call of the members?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mayor Hartke?
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Hermosillo?
Yes.
Thank you. Is there anyone whom I missed? Thank you. The motion passes unanimously.
So give us a minute as we move to executive session. Please remember, after executive session, come back to this meeting to follow up on the regular agenda items. We are now adjourned to executive session.
ไปแล้วเขาอยากจะไปแบบไปโรงเรียนไม่
Hello?
I can hear you, Mayor Harkey. I'm not sure if the room can yet.
Yeah, my screen says still currently in exec session, even though it did a transfer. Is that just the screen in front of us?
Yeah, it's coming down right now.
Great, thank you.
It should be good. Just adjourn until she calls it. Like sitting with me.
Pardon me?
Hey, Gallego joining.
Kevin, if you need to drop off, you still have the forum.
Great, okay, I'll stay on as long as I can.
All right, sounds good. Everyone, we good? We will now resume the regular meeting of the MAG Executive Committee. The next item is item number 5. That is the annual performance review of the MAG Executive Director. Sam, are you doing that? Okay, hi. Alexis, can you still hear us?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to present the annual performance review process for our Executive Director, Eric Anderson. The evaluation materials were included in your packet. This item is marked for action. So last year, we created a job description for the Executive Director role, which aligns with the expectations and priorities of MAG member agencies. In addition, we streamlined the evaluation survey to match the job description. The survey tool provides us with quantitative and qualitative ways to measure performance. This alteration was very successful in allowing us to benchmark performance, identify important opportunities, and work towards achieving the documented goals. So thank you for your candid feedback last year. To quickly outline the survey instrument, the evaluation form identifies the key goals, then the objectives to each goal, and the action steps needed to attain the goals. It includes a column for Eric to report on his progress and accomplishments over the year. Survey participants can then review Eric's progress statements and provide comment on the same criteria in the second column provided. Section 3 of the tool is a rating, which helps us to gain insight and overall impression of Eric's goal achievements and performance. If approved, we will begin the evaluation process by sending the job description and a SurveyMonkey link to the tool to the approved survey participants on February 8th. The comments are confidential and due back by March 15th. Data will then be reviewed and results will be presented to the Executive Committee on April 19th. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. This concludes my presentation. I'm happy to take any questions.
Eric, let me start with you. I'm looking at the survey here. I'm looking at the questions here. Last year, we made some significant changes, kind of give you some more opportunity there to kind of elaborate on the work that you've done and your successes and things that you would work on. Are you okay with what you see?
I am, Mr. Chair. Yes, I am. Thank you.
John, any questions for you? Alexis, any questions for you?
No.
Mayor Gallego?
No questions.
And I think Kevin dropped off.
I'm still here, no
Okay.
question.
Any questions? Okay, so this is for action. So we're going to approve this. Can I get a motion, please?
Second, Mayor Hermosillo.
I have a motion from Mayor Giles, a second from Mayor Hermosillo. John, you ready? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Easy? Then do you mind doing the ones online?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members of the Executive Committee, I will go down the list of members participating virtually. Please unmute and indicate how you vote. Mayor Harkey?
Aye.
Thank you. Mayor Gallego?
Aye.
Thank you. Mayor Hermosillo?
Aye.
Thank you. The motion carries.
Thank you, everyone. Eric, item number 6, please.
Yes, Mr. Chair, members of the Executive Committee, every 2 years, we develop a new 2-year work program and budget. And so here today to present that item to you is Amy Epley from our Fiscal Services Division.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the Exec Committee for the opportunity to present today on the development of the fiscal year 24 and 25 biennial unified planning, work program, and budget. As Eric mentioned, it's a 2-year work program on a biennial basis. The draft budget discussions and presentations, they begin in January, with additional budget information being brought to you incrementally as the budget is developed, allowing for thorough discussions and input on the budget through May when it is presented for approval. This month is the overview of the dues and assessments in the budget development timeline. Next slide, please. In your agenda packets, you will find the attachment A, which is the fiscal year 24 and 25 dues and assessments. The 24 dues and assessments presented today are based on the July 1st, 22 population approved by Regional Council in November. The 25 dues and assessments are based on the July 1st, 2023 preliminary population estimates. The fiscal year 24 dues and assessments, they reflect the actual 2021 consumer price index for all urban consumers with a percent increase of 4.7%. And the fiscal year 25 dues and assessments reflect an 11th month 2022 consumer price index for all urban consumers with an increase of 6.1%. When that CPIU is finalized, we will update those numbers for the fiscal year 25. Next slide. Some changes to note from our last upwap, the fiscal year 22 and 23 dues and assessments, we actually had a 20% reduction from fiscal year 21, and that was due to the financial constraints imposed by the COVID-19. And we also did not apply any inflation or a CPIU increase in those years as well. Also, the fiscal year 22 and 23, we had applied the homeless prevention assessment applied to all member agencies as was requested for those years. Previously, it was only for the CDBG block recipients and if they had a population over 50,000. Next slide, please. And then in your agenda packets, attachment B is a proposed timeline for the development of the UPWEP. In January, the dues and assessments in our timeline here. In February, we will be proposing projects. In March and April, we'll have a draft of the document. And then in May, we will have the final draft budget and action requested for approval. So that concludes my presentation and open for any questions that you may have.
Are there any questions for me for the committee? John, anything for you? Alexis, any questions?
No, thank you.
Kevin?
No questions.
Kate? Okay. Thank you. So we are pulling item number 7, the MAG Desert Peaks Award Program from today's agenda. It will be discussed at a later date. We just felt with everything that was happening with Prop 400E and the discussion on that this could get pushed back to a later day. So want to make sure there's no issues with that. Hearing and seeing none. What did I miss there? I went from 7 to 9. What am I missing on 8? Oh, forgot. No, thank you. Nathan, you're up, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the Executive Committee. Greetings from Washington, D.C. I'm attending the National Association of Regional Councils Conference, having great conversation with our peer agencies from across the country, including major metros. To that end, next slide, please. We have updated our federal issue papers. These include issues of federal funding around transportation. Fast-growing states, as we've mentioned before, have a problem not getting our fair share, we would argue. So that's an issue we continue to work on. We've also have included a paper this time requesting funding for homelessness. We have a paper on air quality, funding for I-11, requesting 911 funding, as well as an issue paper on Amtrak from Phoenix to Tucson, as well as our border crossing card issue paper. We've distributed this to the region's government relations staff. We've also posted this online on the MAG website for easy access. So hopefully you're able to utilize these in your conversations with congressional offices and administration agency meetings like I will be doing later this week. Next slide, please. Of course, new year, new governor, new legislature. I think everyone is still pulling the landscape into focus, if you will, on how this dynamic is going to work between governor, Senate, and House. So we continue to watch that landscape as it comes into focus. Of course, we see a number of challenges in front of us regarding Prop 400 extension, our efforts there. Next slide, please. We can see opportunities to educate new members, of course, on our adopted regional transportation plan and funding proposal. We encourage you to reach out to your respective Transportation Infrastructure Committee members, both in the Senate and in the House. We're able to provide information to you for those meetings and/or come along with you to help out with those conversations and inform Senate and House members of Prop 400 extension and its importance to our region and state. Next slide, please. Of course, we saw Senate Bill 1122 introduced last week as a number of problematic provisions noted on the slide there, directing 80% of funds to freeways and new bus routes. Doesn't really allow for implementation of the plan approved by MAG member agencies. I should mention that related to our Prop 400 extension efforts, credit to you, Mr. Chairman, and also Supervisor Sellers for raising this issue and the state of the state addresses by new Governor Hobbs, looking for her attention to this issue and support. I'll carefully paraphrase some of her responses that she, of course, has noted all the hard work that we put into this last year, last legislative session, that she was surprised to see the veto on our efforts. She noted that there's a partner in the governor's office as we continue our Prop 400 extension work, that we need to get this across the finish line, to continue this important funding vehicle, not only for the region, but as the state as well. We'll continue to work with Senator Farnsworth, address his issues in Senate Transportation Committee, also seeing opportunities to work with House members and seeing opportunities for bills to be introduced in the House. So we'll continue those conversations as well. That completes my presentation, Mr. Chairman. I'm available for any questions.
Nathan, as we talk about, and can you go back a slide or two, just to the committee chairs and committee members? That's good. So I think you heard my comment directed at Dana and at Eric about getting updates about when those committee meetings happen, any roadblocks we run into. I had the opportunity to email the Democrats on the infrastructure committee and let them know that, gave my cell number, let them know that I'm available for any questions or help they may have. I would love to have you be part of those updates and kind of on a weekly basis, if needed, kind of go from there. So I didn't know if you're able to hear those comments. So I just wanted to bring it up to you.
Certainly, Mr. Chairman, we will work to do that.
Thank you. Any comments from the committee? Eric or Nathan, stay warm.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Item number 10 is future agenda items. Anybody? Comments from the committee? Do you want to talk about your trip to DC? Do you want to talk about your new fields? Do you want to talk about anything? Fields? Didn't you get like 5 new sports something?
Yeah, come bring your kids to Mesa to play soccer. Oh, yes, we did open up some city soccer fields too.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, I'm sorry. Come to the City of Mesa State of the City on February the 7th, and you'll hear a lot more than you want to about the City of Mesa. So please come. Thank you.
Kevin, anything for you, sir?
I'm good, thank you.
Alexis, anything for you? All
Nope, I'm good. Thanks.
right, nothing for me. Folks, we are adjourned. Have a great day.